Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the December 18th, 2025 Rockingham County Board of Commissioners meeting. I kindly ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and special thanks to Layla for getting us the flag in here. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an exciting day it's our inaugural or our first time in the new municipal complex in the commissioner or the meeting room. So it's very exciting to be hosting the commissioners meeting here. We have a full attendance in person, so that's wonderful, including all three commissioners. And we'll move right to the consent agenda. First, we have meeting minutes to approve.
Make a motion to approve the October 30, 2025 grievance hearing minutes, the November 6th, 2025 to November 12th, 2025 public.
Second.
Discussion. Note taking. Thank you, Layla.
Yeah,
It's
nice
just really
job on the
wonderful.
grievance.
Thank you. And that's where it's like it's really important that we're thorough and complete. So thank you for that. Okay. On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have the adult medical daycare payout report. For information, this includes our November payout report. It looks like we're right on track with where we're hoping to be, recognizing that we want to use some money for Silver Thorn transportation. So 5 months in, we're right on point.
I did a quick calculation with putting in the $44,000 for the rest of the 6 months. And if our spending is the same as it was this month, for the rest we're under budget still. So we're in
by like $1,000.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's like right on point, which means we could take on a little
And it
bit.
kind of balances the amount of money that we're paying or donating to Silverthorne and Easter Seals, because they were traditionally really lower than, and they serve more people.
Right.
So
Right.
It's really happy with the plan.
That's a really good point too. Yes. Okay, next we have long-term care services. We have the quarterly compliance committee meeting minutes, as well as the coffee committee meeting minutes. And do you want to chat about anything?
No, so for the most part, we have the meetings kind of routinely. For our metrics in Quappy, there's a lot of wonderful data where we're able to and have built over the last year to be able to trend. And there's a lot of positive pieces that we can speak to from some of the interventions, I guess, that we put in education that kind of will continue to help us with our quality of care to ensure that it's the top. So a lot of the compliance and Quappy kind of as a whole just kind of spells out and breaks down some of those metrics and stuff that we're taking.
I think it's nice to know how diverse and represented the county is at the compliance, like what a collaborative effort it is. Everywhere from our health to human resources to facilities, and it's really, and so with the clinical team, it's wonderful. A lot of big input. Do you guys have anything?
It looked like a nice complete report. I didn't get into the detail, but I know the hard work that you put into it, and it's definitely a benefit to what we're doing, keeping us in line.
Well, looks fine to me. On track to heading in the right direction.
Next we have the December 19th, 2025 payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll expense in the month. I like it. It's really good. Yeah.
Patricia,
Really. This is awesome.
is that part of the motion?
I can only figure out the hearing problem. Anyway, I'll make a motion.
How are the goose eggs?
You say? I'll make a motion to approve the payroll expense amount of $1,791,157.78 for the period ending December 13th, 2025.
Second.
Discussion? We had Amazon gift cards that we gave out as part of the payroll. Otherwise. Do anything else? You want
Uniform allowance of about 14,000 and bailiff wages seem a little bit higher to me. That's because of the number of cases at court. I mean, it's the function of that. And there were 3 more employees in the last bi-weekly payroll too.
Thank you. Okay, next we're moving on to Commissioner.
I think we need to vote on.
Oh, I'm sorry, that would be helpful. On the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
Commissioner Marvarella.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Now on to Commissioner's office reports. Do either of you guys have any updates to?
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And this is a great day to celebrate being right here at our new first day in our new office and new conference room. I think this is fantastic, and it'll be great for all the county employees moving forward. It's just such a motivation to walk into a brand new facility. I think it keeps everyone happy.
Say the same thing. Wish everybody a happy holidays, safe. Love everybody that you can get your hands on, I guess. Yeah. The other quick thing is. I'll get it.
HR.
I'll get it. I don't need luxury.
Waiting for that second.
Wow. You guys don't have to. The other thing, I did my 2-hour tour this morning of the jail, and a couple of things. One, I'm glad I didn't get caught. Second, I'm glad I was a good boy. I was over there for 2 hours, and it's a walk through it. It's kind of tough and unfortunate. Hopefully those guys, females that are over there can not go back. That's my hope. But I did tour it. I toured all the different spots, and jail looks like it's running. I had a lieutenant that gave me the tour for 2 hours. Running a little late. I wanted to go upstairs and see the sheriff at last, but we're gonna schedule that. But as far as the tour, I toured the whole building. So
Yeah, in terms of, being here today, it's like, thank you to everybody and everyone here at this table and outside this table contributing to making for that, allowing us to be here today, right? It really is like, takes a village, and that is certainly. You were just talking about the jail and, what a tough place it can be. And it's so exciting with the community corrections program. And I know superintendent was here the past few days working on getting trying to get set up for community corrections to begin over on this side. And it's exciting to really be, get up to speed and having efforts for rehabilitation and reduce recidivism as a result of having really strong rehabilitative programs.
even even like the little thing, like the tour, you see the different blocks, you see the minimum security with the vending machine. These guys are actually able to have more freedom, be able to go up to the machine to buy it, and you go into the stop program. Eventually those stop program guys be out back in the back of the building. There's a lot of programs. Go into the library, I went into the infirmary. There's a lot of moving parts to try and help and get these individuals to be back on the right track. And it's emotional, but I know that I'm going home and most of them are. And it's hard to see that. And I just hope that the programs that we do, I think they're working. I hope that we can get the people who are track. It's pretty sad, next Thursday, we'll all be home celebrating Christmas. 99% of what I just saw will not be home. I hope the program, rest that enough program need to work together.
Right. Next, we have use of facility request for the sheriff's office.
Make a motion to approve the request for use of the non-majors and amphitheater and to waive both the facility fee and the ITAV services fee for the sheriff's office to host the 9/11 quarterly meeting on March 4th of 2026.
Second.
Discussion? Great. I'm so glad we're using it. It's like-
Yeah, exactly. What a great spot.
It's like, we did that Chiefs meeting over there, even
Yeah.
when Kate and Kevin, you guys put that prosecution class on. These chiefs were impressed when they came in here.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that same thing. I heard after the Chiefs meeting, I heard from a number of chiefs around Rockingham County that were just so impressed with the facility, so.
But it's nice because, I mean, we were going over to the nursing home. Or it's like, I didn't want to put the burden on the nursing home, so I would ask a business friend of mine that had a function hall that we could do the Chiefs meeting, but it's like, it's a good spot. Everybody to come in and
And the AVs, opportunities there are so much better, not that the Hilton.
And it's gonna be a good moneymaker too down the road, because you have all these companies that wanna. The whole law enforcement training, because we're required by law 24 hours a year just for training. So I'm trying to find training, but they'll give us free training plus pay for the space to come over and do it. So it is a little bit of a moneymaker too. Except for Friday night, we're gonna have movie nights. So
Tom's already planning a
We-
Super Bowl party.
we gotta get a popcorn machine.
This is okay.
I have one next door you can borrow.
Okay.
On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have Finance Office Pilot Program Grant Budget Adjustment.
Make a motion to approve a budget adjustment of THHS pilot program grant reallocating $3,100 from the salary and wages budget line. And it's a software category and authorize the chair to sign on this for purpose. Finance.
Second.
Basically, what happened was with the extension, the grant term period by zero total dollar extension. The software ran for 4 months, ran for another 9 months, so therefore it's $700 a month. We need to do a budget adjustment, as DHHS calls it, to cover the additional money.
On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have the RV construction off cycle AP warrant.
Make a motion to approve the December 18th, 2025 accounts payable warrant 260699. Having construction quote in the amount of $1,802,860.87 recommended by the Senior Director of Facility Planning NAC and the Senior Director of
Second. All look good to me.
On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have a discussion, we have the janitorial and housekeeping services bid. Who wants to go that?
I'm thinking that, well, I'd like to hear from Chuck, with his analysis. I have the printout, but I don't have strong enough glasses to read the type, is it? Is it, yeah, because you got the bigger printout. I think some of this needs to be discussed in non-public. Once we hear from Chuck.
Do we want to, I guess the question is, do you want to table this or do you want to Chuck?
I can give some general pieces. So one part of it, so there were 6 respondents out of the 9 that actually did the tour. All the ones that responded did indeed do the required on-site visit, so that's good news. Not all of them, to some degree, did not fully complete, even what was in the beginning of the required things to disclose. Some things were more minor than other things that might have been left out. There's one vendor that really didn't provide a detailed pricing, terms, conditions. They just gave an hourly rate for regular business hours and one for after, and that was it. That was their, so how can you forecast what that's going to be? Because you don't know what their intended staffing that they're saying that they will need to do the job. Again, they did the tour. So they saw the square footage, they saw the areas that would be involved in cleaning. Oddly enough, that one particular one did submit a amended bid request that includes another 1.5 pages of details. And so I guess that's one thing I'd like to have the board's opinion first, that to my knowledge, none of the 6 asked for what the other 5, what their bids were. So that's my understanding that none of the 6 has seen what the other bids were. So I don't know if the board wants to entertain a motion to accept the amended bid by this one company. Otherwise, I think it's gonna be pretty hard to include them next. So I don't know if that's, if there's a motion for that or if you.
Do we need a motion?
Well, it wasn't part of their original bid. Didn't have the other information.
I mean, maybe, I guess. Should start by talking about. What, like, are they, it may not be relevant if,
It's
If
only relevant if we accept it or not.
With the cost.
Yes,
right. Oh, it's, but
Yeah.
it may not come to that point. I recognize. That. My feeling is we should first have a discussion about, like, do we have finalists that are,
there, and one thing too is that not all the references have been confirmed and checked out yet. That's one thing that's going on as well. Messages have been left for those that did not get back to us. I'll say that there's a wide range as far as the dollar amounts. I mean, yeah, so if this other bid is accepted, there's a range of over $100,000, I believe, in the bids.
right,
My personal opinion is that we should just look at everything. I mean, this is a brand new facility. I don't think that anybody really has a good handle on exactly what we're gonna need. We're probably gonna find out as we go, and I think we need to dive into the different ways that the vendors bid on it and came up with, I'd like to,
table this for another.
I'd like to table this still on, so non-public and maybe get into a little bit of detail.
I would be okay. I saw, I think we could get in that situation. I saw the email sent. I think that's not accepting the other person. I would probably accept that, but I think eventually our goal would be to get it to 2 people. And really work on breaking down too, because there's a couple that are way out of line.
Yes.
That
Right.
are not gonna get up and right in front. There's a couple that are not gonna get the job. I think if we narrowed it 6-2, and really broke that down. Looked at what we're getting from them, I think there's a couple we can pretty much take off the table because they're not gonna be involved.
Well, yeah, I think that's what we should start now, and then sort of narrow the scope. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to narrow the scope here now, which are, and then maybe see where we are with, and then. Reference that with what references we still need.
Yeah, I don't think we need to be following up on references of companies that we think that, not really in line with what we're doing. Waste of time.
So, I mean, I can just say off the start, I mean. There was Virtuosity Cleaning Solutions and they were quite high and, didn't meet all the specs. Seems like that would be an easy one to. I mean, that's what the idea here is to have a discussion about where we're going and how we're doing it. So to me, it's like, okay. Pull that off. Did you want to have more public discussion before we discuss this further?
I think there are a couple things that we need to discuss in non-public, but I just want to say that, the vendor that came in with an hourly rate was intriguing because none of the other vendors said how many hours they were going to work here. They just said they were going to do the job. And that particular option gives us an option to hire one person 40 hours a week during regular hours. And that number comes out to about half of what the other ones bid as an overall. And I'm thinking that it might be something that can be scaled up, having a dedicated person here 40 hours a week might be advantageous to somebody who says, okay, here are your, here's the checklist that we expect you to do. I don't know that we know what that checklist is really going to be and how often the windows need to be cleaned and deeds and how, how frequently other things. I don't know. I just think that we're so, I think there's so many unknowns that having somebody that's here on an hourly basis might be advantageous, so we can call up, hey, we gotta, clean up on aisle 6. Um, and the other ones say, well, that's not part of my regular routine and we gotta put in, I
I
don't know.
think the problem with that vendor is that they were in part of this, what we were talking about with respect to having to go back to whether we're gonna make a motion on. it. So
Okay,
that was.
so
that's
that
the
might be
concern,
some,
Right.
yeah, right.
I mean, I think
Agreed.
anybody over, when we were looking at bids, if you're over $200,000, it seems really far outside the scope of some others. So I think we should eliminate those. So to me, when I look at it, there are like, as I see it, sort of three narrowing down to three. And so maybe we need a little bit of non-public, because I don't know what the basis for the non-public necessarily is, but to me,
Reputation.
that's fine. So in my sort of key brain, I narrowed it down to three that have a range between like 135 and 155. And that seems like there are three of them that sort of fit that bill. They were, I know that not everybody had specific data, but they had all three had some good references and had some experience doing larger scale projects. So like this scope of work. That's where I would want to narrow my focus. I don't know, have you guys? Do you have anything else like?
Well, that was just my observation, obviously we wanna try to lean towards what's gonna be the most cost effective solution to keep the building clean and cost the county the least amount of money, because this is essentially an unbudgeted item at this point, is it? Or
There-
do we figure some money for this?
Yeah, so their funds budget and same, basically governmental, general government contracted services or service contracts. There were monies budgeted in there. It's the same line that we utilize for the cleaning that's outside of, the nursing home as well. That gets done for assisted living and during maintenance. Safety.
I just wanna make sure we get the best deal.
And Chuck, do you think have any thoughts on, do you have a review points where, let's get.
Again, my concern is the one that had just a straight out hourly rate when it came back was saying what they anticipate the staffing to be. To me, I don't think that's enough. And it turns out that one of the references that they gave, it wasn't even about doing the custodial or janitorial. Because that company in particular does a wide range of services. It seems like it's more like they take care of subcontracted building maintenance. Seems to be more their kind of.
No. My only concern when you get to that point is if you do narrow it down to two, I'd like to take their SDS and use one or chief redoing. We're very concerned with what they use to clean the buildings, because whatever they put down in the janitor's sinks is gonna end up always with them. And the whole PFAS issue is huge, and we spray it on the spray site, which is a drinking water supply, et cetera. So when you get to that point, I'd like the opportunity to take that one extra step.
And so those vendors were trying to say they were not going to give those material safety data sheets, because I'm still call it that, unless they were given the award. But we want to know what they used before.
How could we?
There's
make
a word
it
given.
achievable?
Well, so that's what some we're trying to state though, that they didn't want to.
Okay.
Someone said they were
given the award.
go friendly without really getting specific, so
Right.
we would just like an opportunity to
So-
look at it.
Actually, I'm gonna go through, just looking from a financials of those, taking the three that we have, then maybe we can narrow that. I have to look, that's an important criteria that we should evaluate.
Yeah, and one of the ones I think that would be considered, give a very brief response. So yes, the numbers may look good, but it's a very brief response. It would be a lot of follow up with them before this.
Is it appropriate for us to invite each vendor in and kind of interview and ask some questions? Because they seem to be kind of all over the place and really.
At least a couple.
It's hard to compare apples and apples here. You know, what they're gonna do and what their perception is and. You know, I'm thinking that a presentation. Much like what we did with Sedeco, Vexo and Jura. Well, I mean, they came in and they gave us a bid, but they also justified, you know, and described exactly what they were going to do because they were not exactly apples and apples. They had different approaches to a lot of the stuff. And I think this is in that same category. I'd like to be able to interview these guys a little bit. And we've got somebody that's taking care of the building temporarily. We're not enough. We don't have a gun to our heads. I'd like to be in a good position where we make a decision. That's my thought.
Sounds good.
And I thought about the one person, which Steve had brought, that Commissioner Godu had brought that up. I think, you know, the sheriff's department, I think we're scheduled. Sheriff, for these guys are there at 3 o'clock. Wait, I should sit down, right? And we have to wait for Kathy's folks to leave, because all the barrels gonna be empty, we gotta wait. Pat's folks to leave, I don't
I think
think
you
one
need to get to
person,
my place before 3 o'clock.
yeah.
They have someone if
They have this.
So, I mean,
Okay.
the one person intrigues me and saved some thousands, but I don't think one person could do it. Go from you, then get up to the second floor, then get.
Well, you gotta look at like our building, right, realistically. Even when we were upstairs at the jail and the corrections came up and they cleaned it. So they're not always vacuuming the offices. They're not always gonna, I mean, they're gonna clean the bathrooms every day. They're gonna, you know, sweep and mop the hallways, you know what I mean? You know, anything that prints on glass or whatever, but when it comes up individual offices, you know what I mean? If it needs it, then we'll have them do it, right? But that's what we're looking at. I mean, 1 o'clock is a perfect time to come in, then they can go up and do. Have to wait till. You know, Kathy and Pat are gone, but
The other thing too is that. Think of, I can think. Way back, the nursery home cleaned by inmates, and some law or somebody said that it's unfair to have them do stuff. We take. And it was kind of a nursery home thing, but it wasn't really. And I remember way back with the old calf and stuff, and they ate in their own segregated place. It was kind of, you know, they had the uniforms on, it said inmate. It was kind of weird. Can this building be cleaned by inmates? I mean, it's not the nursery home, so we're not worried about residents. It's not. Can we get this and say by having?
You have two things. So one, when inmates were doing, you were augmenting a business, which you can't do. Can't augment a business. Can they do work for the county like you do now? Sure. But do we have enough inmates that are even sentenced to do this work? No. I barely have enough that are out of my 171. I have less than 25 that are sentenced, and then you take down from there that are hurt, injured, other things like really. Food line and Officer Evans on community has 2 people on his crew, where back in the day he'd have 8 to 10. So you wouldn't have the buildings, and you still would have probably in this building here, you'd have to have somebody be right with them.
so we have to have at least.
Yeah.
People. I mean, you gotta remember too, we have Sally points now, we're gonna have back garages. You know what I mean?
We all remember the incident at Kingston Police Department where a vehicle was taken.
Was it?
We had.
Yes.
Was it Easton? No, sorry,
You left
Easton.
lunch early.
Yeah.
Too many.
Watching the car.
Yeah.
Had a little.
We have too many walk the woods and-
Turn the lights on.
I think you need it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's still in my cars. I got enough problems.
All right, well, I'll take a motion to table this, at this time.
Motion for table, the janitorial proposal.
Sorry. On the motion, Commissioner Cabral,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
and I vote yes. We table. Okay, let's move on to, change order request for CMN.
Make a motion for approval change order request to C and M planning for the Morgan C $2,700 for a 6-day extension as recommended by the senior director. Finance.
Second.
Discussion?
We think 6 is enough, probably not enough to.
No.
This,
We
well,
can
this
leave it.
will cover it till the second Friday in January.
Any other discussion?
Just want to point out that's $450 a day.
It was 300.
With the last, change order was at $450
Right.
for the $3,000.
Any other? Do you have an,
Oh, that's
Okay.
my only point.
on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Cabral?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have an exception request for the wage increase.
Make a motion to the exception request to personnel policy 7-4. For long-term care services, ASS. Recommended by the senior director.
Second.
On the motion, Commissioner Cabral?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to long-term care services, we have an adult medical daycare request.
Approval of adult medical day request dated December 16, 2025 to Eastern Seals for the additional client FS. $80 per day, 2 days per week is recommended by the senior director of services.
Second.
Discussion. We were just talking about this, we have some money to add someone in. On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Cabral?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have Envoy Aid Services Agreement.
Approve the Envoy Inc. services agreement for printing visiting name tag for January 1st, 2026 for a 1-year amount of $1,308 with the automatic renewals for successive 1-year terms. So as the chair to sign all of this document. Senior Director of Care Services.
Second.
Discussion.
My question is, the $1,308 with automatic renewals for successive years. Was that, basically, it's telling me that in 10 years, it's still $1,308.
Go ahead.
Go
You
ahead.
might say no, but read it that way.
So it depends. So they typically would contact us or kind of have those conversations. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we can kind of negotiate and it built in. There's a, yeah. With it, what I will say is I first wanted to say thank you to Bridget on Jude's team. She did so much legwork in finding vendors to meet the needs, and it was a huge help. It's replacing the component of AccuShield. So with this program, though, we're able to utilize the machines we already have, which is a huge cost saving. This is the very basic for some of the items that we need for visitors. But with it, the AccuShield that has prior been paid through ARPA, that's no more, we have budgeted more to keep AccuShield. So it's still coming in significantly less than the hospital. That's well.
I mean, like,
I think for the 6 months for AccuShield, it was like 40
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say, it's
something
like-
for 6 months, and this one annually will be less than.
So if it changed, it would be a different. Market.
but it's like to a $10.
Yeah.
Okay. On the motion, Commissioner Cabral?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have the Hobart Service Agreement.
Make a motion to approve the Hobart services. Service and the digital shop beginning
You just have
January 1st, 2026 to 1 year from amount of $8,906 with the automatic rules of successive 1-year terms and other.
Second.
Discussion?
If I can just explain a little bit. So, when we, as best as I can, I guess. So prior to when I started, the prior dishwasher had this contract. That's when the dishwasher changed over, this piece wasn't done. Elaine the Great, as I like to call her at this point, was questioning because our dishwasher, we continue to have issues and things that pop up on it. So she inquired, and what we have spent even year to date, this would cover the labor. And it is a significant cost. I have the numbers if you're interested in knowing. them, but, the cost of it, though it is not necessarily an inexpensive contract. This last fiscal year, we paid out over $16,000 in repairs, and labor on 2 of them, where a large portion of that would be subsidized by this, and then it would just be parts we were responsible for. And we are in the current fiscal year, we're at almost 11,000, and that's more than the cost of the contract if we can get it into place.
Lock it in. Thank you. On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrillo?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. Moving right into department head updates. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, you want me to go? Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we continue to be, busy, I have to say, we've got a lot of transactions, Newington, Newcastle and Portsmouth. Yeah, some big dollar stuff. So, other than that, same old, we kind of getting comfortable with the new office, and I know, Jude and her staff have been great, that, when stuff arises, they're quick to come over today. Eric's over there putting up some of the pictures that I had, in addition to, obviously we have some beautiful artwork up there. But other than that, everything's going well. Thank you.
Allison.
Okay, so I have a couple. So the Teamsters have submitted their intent to negotiate with the required information that they want. So we'll prepare that. So just have that on your radar starting in January.
Which group is that?
That will be facilities operations. So also there is a new leave of absence to attend medical appointments for childbirth, postpartum care, and infant pediatric medical appointments. That is a law that was signed in by Governor Ayotte, and it becomes effective January 1. We have crafted a policy for the board to look at, but I would like permission to let legal see it because it will be incorporated into our personnel policies and procedures. So if I get permission for that, we feel it's a good policy that we spend time on. And I want to get that over because it will, we'll have to abide by the law January 1st if anyone comes forward, but I also have to notify folks about it. Secondly, Jude thankfully very nicely sent over something from Revision. They are doing, I'll just read it. They are at as 2025 closes, our 420 co-owners of Revision Energy would like to express their gratitude to the customers who joined us in the clean energy transaction. They're offering a giveaway for our organization to enter and to share with the employees. A winner from each state of Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts will be chosen at random and given the option to choose from one of 3 prizes: an electric pizza oven, an Ergo snow blower, or a stand-up paddleboard. Please no.
Come on, snow blower. No.
Yes.
We could use
Please
it.
note that we will not be collecting any of the information provided on the entries forms. It is for the entry purposes only. And if you approve me, I can advertise that and get that out. The last segment of it says they have a form and it's Revision Energy Giveaway 2025. One will be chosen from each state. Revision will not be collecting any of the information you provide, but welcome you to contact them if you are interested in solar, battery, or heat pump for your home. So they will not be using, but I felt I need to bring it forward to see if that's something you can use for our employees. It's just for anyone who wants to personally go ahead and submit something.
It opened to all the employee stuff because the county did this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Yes. So the other thing is on the fitness gym, as you know, we hope to open that in January. We did reach out to Primex to run through some stuff with them because we do have a form that we use for the other gym for liability purposes. They've given us some feedback and they're asking us to kind of weigh in on our policy and our release form. So again, I would like to look at our release form that we have because Primex does not endorse those, but legal can give us some language that we can put in there that will kind of help us if something were to happen on site when somebody's working. So
We don't have
we do have a release form, but Primex has indicated that waivers and hold harmless agreements are not enforceable in local government in New Hampshire due to case law. However, we defer to a waiver contract to legal counsel, so they want us to take our, currently what we're using, kind of shift it around a little bit and just add maybe some items in something that if somebody's gonna use it, they're saying they're in good health and they understand it's, they have to report anything if something happens. If they're doing any bench pressing or anything like that, they have to know that they have a cheap person in there, and that should be in the language that anybody knows, because the equipment's a little different from here and there, but it would be able, you'd be able to use it going forward for both. So, they also.
Didn't we have that release like vetted through council before?
We did, and we had it vetted, but they're saying the case law has come up from, hold to it for liability purposes, so we made some changes. So they also are suggesting, through that we just have a policy statement. So we're just kind of looking at it, and Judy and I talked about some of the stuff on that. And we just want to make sure we're getting it out to both. They also recommend having someone that's certified come in, and we have wellness money, so we did that for the other gym to offer. We did sessions, so that if anyone wanted to come over here and use the gym, we could offer sessions to them to come in and look at the equipment and kind of say, oh, this is kind of, if you'd like to do this, this is how you would use the equipment. I know, is it Deputy April?
Yeah.
I know he's certified, but I don't think he could be doing that on his time if people are doing it on their work time. So we have the funding that we could support that to have people come into. Because I know there's interest from everybody in the county. So I want to make sure if anybody from any other building is coming over to use it, that they really know how to use the equipment appropriately. So we don't want them injured.
Can we get Primex to form the language for the release? Do we have to go to private counsel? They're the ones that are the experts on liability
And
and,
also said that the case law.
yeah, and noted case law that's different. It seemed to me they would be the perfect ones to tell us this is what your release ought to say. Or send them the old one and ask them what we should change.
Yeah, we did. We sent everything to them, asking them to kind of update, and they're saying we defer use and preparation of waiver contracts to you. Because they do not,
But they said this,
yeah. But they
let's
said,
go back to the well with that first.
Yeah.
I certainly,
Because I mean, it seems like they're the ones who are saying you're not in compliance because you need different language. But then they're saying, we won't tell you what the language we wanted.
well, they're saying a release is not enforceable. They don't enforce it. So if we're using it for purposes of injury or lawsuit or anything like that, it's not going to be covered under. That's what they're saying.
Well, they're just saying but to the extent that we can best protect the county, they seem like they have language that they're specifically looking for, or would be.
At
more
least best
protective.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least best practice, right?
That's right, yeah, exactly.
Sure.
They're waving their hands a bit.
I can do that. Not a problem. And I think that was it. So that's all
I
I
think it'd be
have.
great to have someone come in using wellness dollars to have someone come in.
We did when we opened up the meeting, and
Great.
people came in and said, hey, they asked them like, what are you looking to do? Or is there anything special,
Yeah.
and they curtailed something, they gave them kind of a workout type of thing. And
We could like have set up a couple of clinics, like clinics, if you will, at the shift changes,
Mhm.
because so we can catch everybody. And, maybe that people, we can advertise and get turned in.
They sign up, and then we let them know, we have them, we set up the appointments and stuff like that, and then they come in during that time, and they're good to
You
go.
could even do it during, as like clinics.
Sure. We do have money aside for that, as you know. And that's all I had, and thank you. Thanks.
Jason, Jewel.
I have 171. We decided to hold an academy January, because Hillsborough County has like 14 people they want to send through. So we're scrambling to put one together ASAP. It might be held down there, actually Hillsborough with the Fulton Academy number. But we'll send instructors. With that being said, if everything goes through at Merrimack County, looks like they may be revamping their old nursing home. And if that happens, then we would be booted out of that space for our academy. So we'll be talking tomorrow at our affiliate meeting. Might be able to do academy inside Merrimack County's jail, but we're preparing, we may have to move. We're holding academy. Anything else going on? Just that, there's a lot of bills out there, as Kathy knows, that we're tracking. One in particular came in a hot seat last week by former rep and deputy sheriff at another county. The bill is in, tried to do it before 2 years ago, that if an arrest is made on an individual and doesn't make a difference or hurt or not or anything else, they can just drop them off to jail. And it's our responsibility, period. Even if they're also hurt or injured, they take them to the hospital. We have to go take over for them. This is not a person not even being arraigned, anything else. Basically, they want the jail to take over all of that, which would open us up to huge liability of lawsuits because they're delaying care, first of all, they're going to jail, one. Two, once we own them, that's the taxpayer dollars paying all that back. Sorry that some of the PDs and stuff and get upset. Well, my officer has to sit there. Well, your officer being paying your officer. It's a lot less than the taxpayers paying $30,000 or $40,000 in a medical bill that county is going to up. Last time they tried to put this through, 9 out of 10 superintendents showed up in the room, which hasn't happened before, and he pulled it from the floor. We'll be fighting very hard against this one again because of the liability and what's it puts into there. And again, it's just seems to be some rogue individuals don't like the jail. This I've bought the sheriff and stuff like that too. It's not something they would be comfortable with even on this bill. I mean, you bypass care, you say drop them off, they're gonna get sued.
Yeah, we run into somewhere, agencies will call us. I won't name them, and they'll say, we have a hostile person, can you send somebody else to help them? I go, yeah, we will, but that officer will be following a transport ban, and if that person is hurt, they're gonna be taken to the hospital, not us. We're not passing that cost on to the taxpayers.
So that's what we're very concerned with right now. And I think we'll prevailed last time. I think prevail again this time, but yeah.
I have a quick question, just with all the changes to bail reform, that effective both September 21st as well as January 1st. Are the officers are you gonna be collecting the officers? I know sometimes the PDs are like, we tried to bring them and said, no, this isn't something, they're entitled to a bail commission. There's sometimes confusion over whether a bail commissioner should be called or not called, and particularly with these new statutory changes that are more restrictive.
Look at it's more on the police side than us. That they don't understand that person has a right to a bail commissioner, even if they put no bail. So we try to educate them as we go along.
But there are circumstances where they're not entitled to now under the new statutes where there's no bail commissioner will be called. It's a no bail hold.
Right. Our staff is, we train Jamie train our staff on that. We know those. But what we'll run into is ones that actually can have bail, like they're saying, well, they say the officer saying no bail. To do that, if you want to go to court, stuff like that, or hold period without those 14.
Well, it's not just the 14 now, because it's if they're on bail or,
Yes.
There's a ton of other factors. So it's very complicated now. And so I just was wondering.
I'll look up, make sure, but he's been on top, but no, we'll make sure they're good to go.
Yeah.
It's confusing on both sides.
Oh, yeah. No, I know, but I'm not suggesting it's one side or
No,
the
no,
other.
no.
I'm just suggesting that it's complicated and there are concerns, both sides. Side from the police officer side, you said we brought someone up under the pretenses of, and they're saying, not gonna take over.
Usually what they get upset with is when we say they need to go to the hospital.
Yeah, that's a totally different issue. I'm just talking about the
But I will,
statutory changes, which are voluminous and complicated.
I will check with Jamie and John, make sure. Can do some training. That's all
Happy
right.
to come in. I've got the full PowerPoint that we gave to.
Actually, you know what? It was a great presentation.
In that case, talk some more, maybe.
Hello. So census at the nursing home is 134, assisted living is at 45, with a planned move-in and potential for 2 more. We just completed assessment on. Unfortunately, we did have 2 staff members test positive today. However, the initial exposure testing to residents so far has been negative, so that's great. Some general items, so Christmas and the holidays are in full swing at the nursing home. Our residents, there's been a different party every day. For each unit, a local church, St. Anne's, adopted us, and the giving, it's actually truly overwhelming when you see just how much it fills the room for our residents. And one of our staff members is dressed as Santa, and it's just a lot of fun. For the staff, we have so many things going on. Today is trivia day, so you can get a sheet at the switchboard or the entrance if you want to take a guess. So we have lots of fun things there. Still working on with the medical director changes that I brought forward with the core transition. Have it down to 2 pretty solid options right now. I'm hoping to finalize in the next week or 2, working with our current medical director on that. So once I have kind of more clarity and probably provide those updates. Some positives. So we recently signed a contract for to partner for a clinical site for a local LPN school that I've worked with. I'm on their board, and they reached out to us and asked if we would host one of their clinical sites, which is very exciting. Starting in February, and it's the 3rd trimester of it. So they finish this and go right into testing to become nurses. So I am hoping to be, it's been a goal of mine since I started. Gonna have to make my muffins, right? But I worked with them closely in my last building, and we eventually got to a point that out of every session, we were able to kind of convert at least 1 or 2 nurses onto staff. So it's been a big goal. A little challenge is a lot of the students that will be coming in are likely more from Massachusetts than, so we'll see. It's a wonderful building.
Thanks
So
for New
we're
Hampshire.
gonna get them. But it's another good way to kind of get a pipeline for staff. So, I very quickly said, yes, let's connect to make sure it's successful. So working on that. Then I had brought forward, the request for permission to go to RFP for the managed care contracts. One of the agencies that had kind of the most robust pieces that they would do that I had been working with actually agreed to give us a special rate as a project, which is actually less than the typical for one contract. So we have jumped on that and are sending that through Primex because 1, it'll help us on the other side with the contract negotiations in the rates in turn from a revenue standpoint, but then on the opposite side, there's a cost savings. We're essentially gonna have the equivalent of what we're paying to do 1 contract for all 6 of our contracts. So that is currently sent over to Primex to be reviewed, to be brought forward. So I was very, very happy about that.
I hear cost savings left and right in education now.
And then Kate Horgan had sent an email. I believe you were on it. I'm not sure if you saw it. There was 2 different pieces that were brought forth between governor and council, that there's still some pieces it sounds like it's waiting on, but again, both positive with funds to support helping Medicaid get caught up on the backlog with a consulting group. And then around the rates. So there's kind of some pieces in there hoping to stabilize so there wouldn't be as big of a Medicaid rate if so, and to help with the Medicaid backlog, which will also have a wonderful impact, not just for the overall of our residents getting it, but unfortunately, if someone's in pending and then they pass and more documentation is needed, it becomes a write-off at that point. So 2 really positive things coming out. Okay, that's all I have.
I was a very busy payroll. Obviously, all the payrolls get pretty busy. Ben put together a detailed report that that compiles accurate qualified overtime data. That, that was part of that one big beautiful bill. Thing as far as no tax on overtime, that was not truly that, but could be a tax deduction for some who get overtime as far as it makes time to file for taxes. So that's going to be included in box 14 on the W-2s for 2025. For years following, it has to be in a code TT on box 12 for 2026 W-2s and later. Just the normal work on audits, grants, now some calendar year and reporting. The Medicaid cost per audit is going to start soon. Every 5 years, there's a Medicaid cost per audit, not just a preliminary desk review. Also work on the SAM.gov renewal. That should be able to be pretty quickly. So right now it says expire January 2nd. So I know the feds usually Brett want you to do it way before, but my experience is that like less than a week starting the process, assuming it's done. So, but as a result, every year our expiration date gets earlier and earlier and earlier. But that's fine. It's all needed for all the grants and everything as far as for equitable sharing stuff with the feds and everything. So. Besides that, just busy as usual.
Well, I got a lot to talk about. So we had a deputy, Amanda Bebo, was in a certain spot at a certain time, serving paperwork. And an older, older woman that she was having a candy and she ended up getting it stuck in her throat and, Amanda actually saved her life. Given the highlight. Which is, I mean, thank God she was there. Deputy Greeley, all the numbers came through on Bears for Bucks. We were the top go-getter again, even though, you know, my policy is there's no bids and I'm very proud of all the guys over there for raising that money for that organization. Marshall Bennett, Lieutenant Marshall Bennett was honored by the Highway Safety Grants for being one of the top go-getters for pulling cars over. And we, you know, when I became sheriff, it was hard for us to get money for grants because we weren't really doing a lot. We worked hard over the years and we do get a lot of good money for that. We've received money, we received our funding for Granite Shield, which is a good chunk of change. I think it's about 195,000, where we can use other towns part-time basis and it costs the taxpayers no money. Go and fight the, you know, get these drugs off the street. Transport is up because of bail reform. And today is, tomorrow is going to be Lieutenant Papalato's last day working. He's been a loyal employee, good friend of mine. So Friday, we're gonna do like a little thing at his house, and then we'll throw him a retirement party down the road. With Lieutenant Papalato leaving, we had some promotions. Sergeant Charest will be a lieutenant. He's staying on transport, does a great job. And Deputy Bolton, Katie Bolton, she will be our next sergeant. And, you know, we're very lucky that we have her. She's a very good person. I mean, same thing with Craig Charest. Being down the courthouse, it's like a building, I mean, like a business. And they all do phenomenal jobs. And otherwise than that, we'll sell into our building. Everything's great. We appreciate all the hard work that Jude's done for us. And everybody else is working on some of the little problems that we have. And Merry Christmas. I'm done.
You said it all.
Okay. Really fun. That was great.
Yeah, I usually not say anything or. No.
That was the preemptive strike, Eric.
All smaller facilities, I don't have a lot to report. Still maintaining fire watch, the parts due in today to get the nursing homes all squared away. The E911 has all of the correct mailing addresses. I've yet to confirm with the post office just because I can't get through to them. I'm almost ready to drive over north. Just to make sure, is your mail coming through okay now?
Yes.
Great. We are making a modification to the sign down at the bottom of the road. One of the mailboxes in the sheriff's department is broken. It's another reason I'm trying to get through to the post office. It wasn't fixing it. They're choosing instead to pick up the phone and have the sheriff come and get the mail. So, we're working on it. I know it must be a crazy busy time of year for them, you know, like people that are trying to deliver, there's so much to do. But we're working on that. Other than that, we're very busy.
Thank you. Leila?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good, how are you?
Good.
First, I want to thank the county attorney for allowing us to borrow their flag. I will get one purchased, yeah. Also, our old Carlisle offices, I sent an email to most of the people about, you know, if they want the space for anything, to let me know. Allison has decided that they want the Tom's old office, Commissioner Pomerella's.
Throw me out. Throw me out. It's a tough. You got 24 hours to go. I said, I thought we read this place. I got
Just wait, no.
It's on the left, at the beginning of the hall.
Yeah.
the one by office.
Yeah, for doing the podcast and for any overflow meetings that they might. And Chantel wants to maybe look at, I don't know if you.
I have not had a chance to go over it. It's on my list to do after then.
She's interested in the some storage space.
One of the pieces for that, if I may, is as practice, some of the closed units have been getting used for storage. So if we can move some of the seasonal stuff that we don't need, so that doesn't have an issue, like, yeah,
Happy.
you'd help us on that one.
I think in general, we should hold on to that space. Before we give it away. So I think. The department heads will notice, think of. If they, can use that space. They know it's available.
Yeah, I mean, I think the effort is, if we're not using it, I don't see why we,
Right, if we don't think we have any use, it's just, I don't think there's a hurry, there's not an urgent
to turn it.
decision to turn it over, right?
Right. If you're gonna hold off on making that decision, then she probably let her know,
Yeah.
because they are asking every couple of weeks when they can.
But there's, I mean, we could theoretically, we could use Layla's office, old office for the storage. Then take R2, return them. And Tom's office becomes.
Yeah, that was the old
Right.
clinician office, as
Yeah.
we have that contract with them, so, it would move the stuff out of Autumn's office, it's just sitting there in her office, and she's not able to have people in there. And she can actually set it up, and she wants to, and then she can do her podcast every month now and get it going, and she could do her editing over there. We'll also use it as a storage space for all of our new hire stuff that we have bags and stuff like that. And we have boxes everywhere, so it'd be nice to set up something and just put everything there and go over and grab it.
Theoretically, your team will not need any more space, so. And neither will the county attorney's office or the
We're
sheriff.
good.
And you've got more space upstairs now, so,
Yeah, about a year from now, maybe.
no, I know, but
Wow.
yeah, exactly.
So it's really just HR and long-term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So when we look at who really needs to utilize it, it's
Oh,
like
finance? No,
I
are
think you
you-
guys expanded they got a little expansion when we moved over to,
No, we're good. I just wish in some cases we had more individual offices, but I mean, that's, the amount of space we have is adequate, the total space.
what do you want? I mean, so, okay. So I think why don't we just rest with, we give those R2 offices up, you have more storage. The Layla's office is slightly larger, and then your office is gonna be.
So keep Tom and Layla's on the office.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, my fourth office now, you don't get too long, you guys keep.
It was an
Yeah, which one
upgrade.
is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both, a little both. You hear too long, they keep moving.
Decided, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
That
fine
makes
with
sense, 'cause we can go, we're not using it.
Makes sense.
Great. Anything else, Dana?
That was it, thank you.
Okay. All right, new business, old business.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll just, it's a couple of quick things and then,
That's
so, the sheriff had mentioned Rick Papalato, Lieutenant Papalato actually. Along doing a drive along today, I had put drive by, but I guess that's.
Don't turn the lights on, Tom.
No, I said, don't, I'm taking them to front row pizza for lunch. I said, don't pull anybody over. I don't need no
You-
fake road.
You are sitting in the back seat, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a couple of spots right into that.
In the back. And just real quick, we're gonna have to have a lengthy, or more of a discussion. Jude and I have been talking about the courthouse stuff that's left there. So I went over there on Tuesday with Jude's foreman, real nice guy, Josh. Real gentleman, we're lucky to have. And I spent about an hour in the courthouse just looking at Pat's stuff that's left there. The sheriff's stuff, a lot of it is surplus, but a lot of it that's not surplus, we're gonna be responsible to go rid of. There's a lot of stuff that's there, so we have to address that because otherwise. Sure, we're gonna get a bill for space, so I think June and I. Talked basically about getting everything into Kathy's old. At least cleaning up paths for them, but we have to do something, it's kind of catchy, because I thought, well, I'll call a couple of metal guys and try and get rid of. All these, a lot of file cabinets, if anyone needs a file cabinet, but it's not your typical, call the guy that comes and gets metal free because they have to pass a background check. So on and so on, so you can't just have Johnny's metal guy go there and get the stuff, so. The superintendent,
Why do you have to have a background check to have someone take?
That's what they had said at the courthouse. They
Cause I can get a guy with it, I bought it.
Check to go in there. I think Jude, maybe Jude, did you tell me that they made one?
No.
Somebody had said something, maybe one of the parents or something, but maybe we can look into it. I don't think you can just have anybody.
Yeah, but all you have to do is take that
It's
metal,
open
right?
to the
They just
public.
Yeah.
put it on the parking
That's
lot
what we
and they'll come and
I
grab it.
think
like
Jude's
news
gonna
people.
talk to Sarah.
Yeah.
About getting the metal outside of the designated area, because you know, the state, they're gonna bill us.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're already into December 18th today, and we haven't paid rent, so. They wake up, we could get whacked with 2 months, a month of rent for both spots, so. I think we gotta consolidate and find a place outside this world, but we gotta get dumpsters and a metal guy to come get the stuff, we're gonna get a bill.
You might be able to just have somebody go into the building and say, okay, I'll take all that stuff and you can take it out. Instead of, we might not have to put it outside. I haven't made any phone calls yet because I wasn't sure.
You can get a company, like when the chief there in Kingston used to go around and we get a lot of stuff from them.
Yep.
They go and they clean out offices. I'm sure if you advertise the
Yeah.
clean out offices, somebody will come and grab all that stuff.
I did ask that one of the guys that we bought used office furniture, like when we carved out a section out back, and he's like, there would be a fee. I saw that stuff.
A lot of them,
Oh, that's
Why
saying
not?
so. But if like, if we could, yes, scrap it.
If it need to be brought outside, maybe between your
Right.
department and I'll just take some. Outside projects with your, that he has with your department,
Sure.
department, if it needs to be hauled outside,
yeah,
we could. Get it out there.
Yep.
we get out there, think about it, the pile comes, you know, bulky, and it's gonna fill a dumpster up real quick.
Well, the metal ones we should.
The metal,
Yeah.
the metal, you don't have to put them in the sun.
Agree.
Yes, that,
The metal guy, if you hire a metal guy, right, I'm like, I just cleaned out like 4 trailers worth of stuff for 28 years. And the guy just came on, he goes, just use what they give you money for it. I go, I don't even want any money, just take it. Right? So if you guys can't find something, I'll get some. It take him a few days, but he'll get all that stuff out, so.
It's 8 cents a pound, if somebody wants it, that's what they get, they'll get 8 cents a
I
pound.
think we just wanna, I think,
I
yeah.
would just, honestly, I would just get rid of it. If someone wants to take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
Just do like a summary surplus declaration that the board can approve,
Approve, and then
Let's give them a list or just
Surplus.
say.
You can including, but not limited to. And
Right.
kind of cite some of the items that would be part of that blanket surplus.
Did last week, then we do a motion on surplus the cat.
Yeah, because I listed all
Okay,
that stuff.
okay, but the rest then, and saying that nothing individually at a value of $3,000 or more, because that would be.
So we should probably reach out to the county attorney to get her to do a surplus. Kathy already did it. A lot of this stuff is marked surplus, so obviously some of them have people's names on it. Because ain't this guy John there said, oh, I said, who's John? He said, me. I said, well, it should say surplus, it should say not John, so you go around as individual.
We told the state they could have what they wanted
Okay.
first.
Right, because they're
So she
taking my
actually
big, they're
said-
taking my big conference table that came from the original courthouse.
They want,
And the leather chairs.
they want the cubicle.
They wanted to rent quick, they wanted.
Yeah, they're gonna take cuticles, so we don't have to get rid of them. And then somebody picked like a couple of bookcases and somebody picked a couple of other things that, it's just stuff that we won't have to get rid of.
Some electronics that.
Robin's had most of that stuff cleaned up
Mhm.
once the phone systems
I
were
just-
brought over.
I only brought up, we gotta.
Yeah.
You're on it.
Yeah.
You're on it.
Right. Thanks. Do you have any other? Okay, moving right on to public comment. Do you have any public comment?
Today. Earth moving and storage.
You were not, but this is public comment if you want to.
So I'm just asking, is it public information? I could have gotten that document ahead of time.
We put the agenda is posted on the website.
This would be the time to influence that.
Oh,
Do you want to talk? Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
So I also have my colleague Damien on the line too. Damien, you there?
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Good thing. Would you like to speak or what?
Yeah, I can take it away if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, It was an honor to help you guys move in a new building. I appreciate you accepting the RFP. Our business is located in Rockingham County. We do live in Rockingham County, so it was just an honor to move you guys here. We appreciate the work. If I do want to start out, I'll go over some basic stuff, and if you guys have questions, I can go into more depth about the situation we're having. The original bid was accurate on the information available at the time. Once we began, multiple areas, deeds, sheriff's department, expanded or more work than originally thought. To go over the deeds room, the deeds was giant. I knew it was going to be a lot of work. The book room was significantly more labor intensive than originally scoped. The shelving, I'm not sure if everyone's aware of the deeds room or that back book room that they have and still have. The shelving took a lot more work to take apart and put back together. For us to do the job correctly, the work wasn't optional. It was necessary to complete the job. So the labor we had to send out there and the days that it took was a lot more than anticipated, unfortunately. And then for the sheriff's department, when I did the original walkthrough, I do have a list that was more than what was said there. So it just took some additional work. It wasn't necessarily as big of an issue as the deeds. It just took longer. I do have that specific list, which I have emailed out. If you do want more transparency on that, I can certainly go over it. Kind of to close out, the final price we're looking for is $35,987 and 25 cents. The overages for the sheriff's department was $4,900 plus $1,800, and the overages for the deeds, let me just find that number, was sitting right at about $5,500. We approached the project in good faith. We weren't going to stop working, even though we knew it wasn't approved yet. And you guys haven't said, hey, yeah, go ahead, just get the job done. We completed the work safely and professionally, documented all scope increases. Every single dollar I'm asking for is linked to an hour that we worked in the invoice I sent over. The final number reflects the actual work required to deliver the project properly.
Sure, go ahead.
I have permission to speak? So I understand that you're charging the sheriff's office extra money and you're put down for 4 days when actually you're only there for 2 days. As far as the moving of the building, every single department head and all the deputies, we moved all our stuff out of our offices. The rooms that you're talking about that you didn't see, or you did see, because my Captain Jim Lucia took everyone around and showed them every single space that was in there. So when it came to moving that building, yeah, you had to move about 14,000 pounds with the ammunition, right, which was in on the contract. But
yep,
you weren't there for 4 days. You were there for 2 days.
So I'm not sure if go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I'm trying to say to you is you're only there for 2 days. You're billing the county out for 4 days, which isn't correct. And when it came to moving all our offices and all that space, we moved our own space. So I would say roughly we moved out about 65% of that building ourselves because all the guys, everybody was there. The rest that you guys moved.
Yep. Just to give you clarifying on that, I don't know if the dates line up on the invoice. It wasn't necessarily more days; it was more manpower I sent over there to get the work done.
Well, the manpower that you had over there, I mean, you only had a couple people over there. There wasn't a lot.
I was on site. I was on site one of the days actually moving the sheriff's department. We had 6 men out there, and I do have in my original bid I put to you guys, I do have a list on that. And then I do have a list that was not on my original bid that I sent you guys. That was additional that we did not know about.
I mean, I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying that when you people came over and you looked at our office, Captain Lucia took you to every single space in that building. So if you forgot to put something on that list, that's on you. It's not on the county.
No, I'm not trying to have a blame game or put it on anyone's table saying, hey, it was his fault for not showing it to me.
He did
It
show
boils
it to you.
down.
He did show it to you.
Okay.
He did show it to you. And I can go back on other videos too if you want, because it's a secure building, and show you where your people went in there and saw all these buildings, all these offices, and all these spaces. And the spaces that you're talking about wasn't a lot of stuff that was in there.
Damien, what about the IT equipment? Was that
Um,
on scope?
That's on the list. And, the whole day, one of the days I actually went out there, we're waiting for the IT. Oh, they're saying a department's moving the printers. We ended up moving them for you guys, which wasn't a big deal. Apparently some company was supposed to come move them and they never showed up. So the guys ended up handling that. Wasn't a
No, but
major deal.
The IT, that was on your list to move the phones and the printers. Not the phones, but the printers.
Let me pull up my original bid. I can go over that list of what I had on there.
Well, I had a comment on the deeds office. So I can tell you that everybody that came through, we had a walkthrough, there were about 9 different entities that came and walked through. And they were shown everything in my office. And they were told that the books had to come and that the shelving had to be taken apart. There was no question about it because we knew, number one, it's never going to, because of the length, because they're all very, very long, right? We knew they had to be taken apart. People were told it needed to be taken apart, and they had to take that into consideration because the stuff as it was would never fit into an elevator. There's, to say that there was extra work, that's on you, Damien, because if you recall, when you were moving the county attorney's office, you came over with Josh from the Jude's office, and you started asking me questions about what had to be taken apart and so on and so forth. And my response to you was, you never asked one question when you did the walkthrough. The bottom line is, those are questions you should have asked then, not after you got the bid, and not after it's a week before you're supposed to move, right? Do you recall that conversation?
No, correct. I did have full clarity on the deeds office, what needed to come. Yes. And when I did that walkthrough, when Josh brought me over there, it was just double clarity when I had my crew leaders out there. It wasn't unknown on that day. You are correct.
Right. So the bottom line is, the bid was the bid. There's no extra. It took us more time. It took you a ridiculous amount of time because some days you were sending 4 and other times 3 people to move my office, which for me was a real issue because I had to close down to the public. And then what ended up happening is my staff and I are staying till late hours of the night to try to get stuff in because I had to be open on Monday, right?
Yep, I was there with you guys till about
8
9
days.
p.m.
It took you guys 8 days to move my office, for whatever reason, right? But the bottom line is, you knew the scope of what needed to be done. And if you didn't bid it properly, and I told Patrick this as well, no, it's not a Kathy problem or a county problem that you didn't bid it right. It's your problem. And I don't believe the county should be paying extra money for you. You knew what it was. Doesn't matter if it took 4 guys, 10 guys, whatever it was. My thing was, I told you should have had two trucks there every day and at least 8 to 10 people. And all I had was 4 or 3 people, which was ridiculous. So if it, my thing is, I absolutely in opposition to paying them any extra money.
So can I speak for a second? Damien? You mind?
Yep.
I have Captain Lucia here. He was in charge of showing you people the building. And he can explain to you that, this space that you didn't see, right? He showed you all those spaces and that you were actually only there for 2 days.
Good morning.
Good morning. That is correct. We were only there for 2 days. We did have additional manpower there. I do have my original RFP that I put on my bid for the sheriff's department. I'll touch back on the deeds after this, since we're kind of switching up here. The original scope of work were file cabinets and equipment, 21 file cabinets, 2 copy machines, 2 small racks, wardrobe boxes. This was going to be to move all the clothing, 2 safes, approximately 300 pounds each, and 10 to 12,000 pounds of ammo. That's what I had on my original RFP, on my original notes when I did the walkthrough with the captain. The extra stuff were closer to 100 boxes of files, 60 additional uniforms beyond the original count, 10 boxes of blue suits, 30 to 40 caps, 20 bulletproof vests, 15 additional helmets, miscellaneous police equipment and gear, 25 to 30 boxes of gloves, 25 boxes of hand sanitizer, training materials, and other miscellaneous items, and a ton of arrest record files. That was just not on my original bid, or I do not believe I was shown everything that was to be moved on that part of the move.
Yeah, everything that you just described there was in the areas that I walked the whole group of people through. All of the blue suits, all of the files, everything that you just described, all the hand sanitizer, those were in every single area that I took the whole group of folks through that were going to be supposedly bidding on the job.
Yep,
There was nothing there was no room that you folks didn't see on the day that I walked everybody through, that mysteriously extra equipment or files showed up.
Yeah, I don't. That's okay if I do think there was. I don't want to battle apples and oranges here. It was definitely additional. I don't know if we do want to go that far as to pull the cameras and see what I was shown. When I did put that proposal to you guys and had a scope of work on there, and you guys accepted the bid, I don't know why there wasn't a, hey, Damien, there's all this stuff that wasn't on your scope of work for the bid. I don't know why that wasn't brought toward me for that part of the move before you guys accepted it.
Well,
I think at this point, like, the commissioners need to evaluate it.
Right.
Thank you for coming in and speaking with us. If there's additional documentation you'd like to provide. We're really here, this is like.
So as the owner of Preferred Moving and Storage, I own the company 20 years. And first off, I appreciate the opportunity bidding on this. What I can say is, yes, I'll take some accountability of we could have handled the job a little bit better. And I think I'll be honest with you, I think it's somewhere in the middle, and we're not trying to burden the taxpayer or anything like that. Some of the scope of work was very labor intensive. Some of the units were older, took a little bit more time. We were shorthanded on a couple of days. Damon went out there one day, I went out there. I'm just hopefully that we can come to some sort of maybe happy medium terms, because I am a small business. I did pay for the payroll for these guys. They are hardworking guys. There were some maybe I'm not saying we weren't at fault for some of this stuff. We just continue to come every single day, and the communication. I've been on the phone with Kathy, and just trying to full transparency. Hey, what do you want? What do you want to do? So I'm hoping that you guys can find it somewhere in the medium to just cover some of the labor, and we take some accountability from our part of it. That's all I'm asking in closure. And again, I appreciate you taking our argument in consideration.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, with that, I don't think we have any other public comment. It is something that the commissioners will pick up, but after reviewing everything. But now we're going to enter into non-public, so I'll take a motion that there's non-public.
Make a motion to go to non-public and give the RSA 91-3 A personnel.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I'll be offline.
Not yet.
I apologize if I get it.
Good. Now it's afternoon. We are back in public session after being in non-public session. We had 5 non-public sessions. I move to seal. Actually, they're all. I move to seal all 5 non-publics indefinitely because they could adversely affect the reputation of other than a member of this board, and we don't have any finite time to that. reputation would be district. Any discussion? So hearing none, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrilla, and I vote yes. We have one more motion, Commissioner Tombrilla, would you?
To adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Merry Christmas. And then we'll.